Okay, so here we are back with part 2 of what I am expecting to be 2 of 2 videos going over the Wukong tier list. We are rested, we've had Cheetos and water and all kinds of good stuff. You ready to continue?
Oh yeah, I think I'm ready.
Alright, so that's, I think next is 100-Eyed Taoist, which is the end of chapter 4, is that right?
Yes! Yeah, he's one of the bosses with a frame killer attack.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. I remember, this boss, whenever I got to him, this was around the time, I started thinking, going in blind is a little rough right now, because, there's a point in his fight where he does, like, a super move, and I think it, like, caps your health down a bit, caps your stamina severely, and then that's just kind of what you're dealing with for the fight, unless you have that chapter's vessel. And this is when it kind of, like, I learned the importance of doing the side stuff in Wukong. Because Wukong does have a lot of good tricks to be able to, like, keep you from getting stuck, like, in an area. Like, there are very few bosses that don't have, like, something where it's, like, use this to cripple them. Or at least, like, big linchpin end-of-chapter bosses, it feels like.
Yellowbrow doesn't.
Yeah, Yellowbrow doesn't. That's just part of how he cheats. So, I think 100-Eyed Downmaster, honestly, I kind of want to put him up at, like, A tier for that, because he was the boss that kind of, like, taught me that there was some more tricks up this game's sleeve, you know what I mean? Any thoughts on 100-Eye?
I remember fighting him, because, like, I didn't do the side stuff when I first got to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, like, there's a whole lot of... I remember what happened specifically is I didn't realize I was at the end of the chapter. Because I felt like there was, like, I feel like there's more shit to do. I haven't even gotten to the secret area yet. And I'm seeing this cutscene where it's like, okay, here's been, like, the main antagonist and, like, her daughters and everything. And this shit is going on. And then they all start attacking him. Like, this feels like the end of the chapter. What the fuck? Wait, how did I miss the secret area? Like, what the hell? And so I tried fighting this dude, and it took a few attempts, but I got to the frame killer shit, and I was like, okay, cool. I made progress, like, I'm kind of running on fumes, but maybe, just maybe I can... What the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm looking at. The game doesn't know what it's looking at. Okay, I would need to get the vessel.
Yeah.
And once I got back after getting the vessel, which is also getting a few levels, like fighting the Scorpion Lord and shit, I went, oh, this dude's, like, really easy.
Yeah, way more manageable once you get the vessel. I think we got him the very first try.
I think so, too. If not, it was, like, second.
So, again, for me, I just enjoy how this boss kind of showed me that this game wasn't just about being overly difficult and, like, trying to punish you with crazy mechanics the whole time. There are, like, ways to get over these obstacles, and I appreciate 100-Eyed Downmaster for showing me that.
I don't think I'd put him that high, but I won't fight you on that, because this is, I don't want to say sentimental, but this was a meaningful fight for you in that regard, so I will let you have him in A.
I'm cool with putting him in B, though, to comp.
Okay.
We can comp with B. Here we go. Alright. Now we got...
Okay.
Rangy?
This... kind of what...
Oh, whoopsie, sorry.
So kind of what Taoist is for you in that regard, this dude is for me, because this was my first transformation.
Oh, so he's like that one optional in the very first part of the game. Okay.
Like, where I was just walking around, found this dude, it was like, oh, cool, like another boss. Like, I'll fight this guy, yeah, I kicked his ass. Wait, what?
Yeah.
I can turn into a dude with a flaming Naginata? And I used him a lot.
That would have been really cool for me, because I think we fought him right around chapter 6. And this guy, kind of felt like a big enemy.
And he was gone.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he did seem like he had a cool design, and it was very, like, after fighting him and realizing that it was like, oh, wow, I could have got a vessel, like, this, or a transformation this early. I think that is really cool. Like, it's like a very nice reward for exploration, I feel like. And I just didn't reward myself. So yeah, I'm cool with putting him... Where do you want to put him on this one? I don't think, like, any lower than, like, C, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
I'll put him in B. Like, if we're putting Taoist in B for that, I think I want him in there for kind of the same reason.
I like that.
And the dude next to him, this is one I looked up earlier. I think this is also a dude in chapter 1 who has the like little poison tentacle things. I don't think I'm doing a good job of explaining him, but he's like one of the... There's those 3 fights in chapter 1 that are all like by a bell. He's one of the bell fights, so just like the flaming Naginata dude.
Okay, so you like he's one of the guys you have to fight to get to Elder. Okay, Guangmo.
And I don't think he's optional. I think like you have to fight him, and he's like not long before Snake Naginata Man.
Okay, I think I kind of remember him, but yeah, I think he just kind of came at a point in the game where we might have been like still kind of doing okay. We might have fought him after White, so
yeah, I think so. He is after.
Okay, yeah, yeah, not really super notable to me personally. I'm kind of cool with putting it. If they're not notable, I'm cool with just keeping them in C.
I think
honestly.
that's fair. I think he's probably around that tier. I remember him being fun, but not like he's not like Tony the Tiger level of fun.
Exactly. Yeah, he's no Zubaji. All right, green capped martialist.
Okay.
Oh, is this the guy with the like goons? Right? I remember
the goons.
Like, cause he had there's like a fight. Oh, no. I'm thinking of a different fight here.
Okay,
What is this fight?
Okay, so this is the thing you have to do to get to, like, the secret area in Chapter 3. Or that's right, because the secret area in Chapter 3 is where you fight Erlang.
Yes.
But you have to do this shit and go to, like, the watermelon area. So he's, like, a side quest.
Okay.
And then when you fight him, he's got, like, this flaming ring that he does, like, cool shit with.
That sounds really neat, actually. I don't know if I super remember this guy. It looked... Yeah, like... He looks like he does, like, some stuff where he's actually, like, tossing the rings out and, like, kind of, like, doing some area control.
Yeah, like, I think at one point he's just, like, riding in the ring and trying to run you over. Like, it's one of those fights where I remember thinking, like, this is just really cool to look at.
I think this is definitely a fight that my buddy got to go through. It looks like a really fun fight, though, honestly.
It was one I also did, like, around Chapter 6 or so, where I was like, okay, I want to make sure I've kind of done all the shit I need to for, like, the super dungeon, or not super dungeon, but, like, the super boss. Let me go do this. Okay, I'm a bit stronger, I think, than I should have been here.
Okay,
I think, like, visually and shit, I think it's an incredibly cool fight.
Honestly, yeah. I think maybe we want to bump. Do you want to bump him up one, or do you want to just keep him where he's at?
I kind of want to bump him up to B. It's like, this is really cool.
B. Beef E for being badass. And then we have the Gore Eye Taoist.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know if I fought this thing.
You know, the name is familiar, but it is just like... What the
fuck is that?
I think this guy haunts my nightmares, is what it is. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember him.
I don't remember this thing at all.
Let's get no
Which
contest.
would be really funny if it's like, no, this is required. And we both just forgot
it. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Like, there's a non-zero chance.
Like, I mean, let's be frank. If we don't remember, if we have to fight him, we don't remember him that badly. He's a stone tier. Then we have Gold Armored Rhino. Oh, yeah, one of the bosses that have that kind of super armor mechanic where you can't really do anything with your... Like, you can't do light combos on him, basically, unless you break his horn, I think is what it is.
So you can't really do it straight on.
That's
you
what
can do it like to the sides or like on his ass.
So he does thankfully have some areas where you can grind,
but it does a lot less damage.
Exactly,
because if you're hitting him in his face, like after breaking the horn, you're doing a fuck ton of damage. But he'll just start running, so it's kind of hard to hit him in his face.
Yeah. Honestly, though, I think for like a lot of the armor bosses and like having that kind of mechanic, it is nice that at least one of them has an area where you can grind your meter for like actual focus attacks, when normally you're just kind of wishing you had it before that like part of the fight starts, or standing there and charging, which I mostly used thrust stance, and it felt like good enough to use. You got really good like distance on it, but none of the other stances felt really great to charge, honestly.
Yeah, as a primarily Smash Dance user, yeah, not really.
Yeah, the little bit I tried of that, it's like, oh, you can move around while charging it, but you move so slow. And you don't keep any of the charge. So I think honestly though, even though there are some good aspects about this boss that do make it better than most of those armor bosses, I'm still not very huge on him. I think he was just kind of an okay boss at best.
I hated how quickly the horn came back. I'm not saying, like, alright, if I do it once, it should be gone the whole time. Be nice.
Yeah.
But it's either, like, stagger the boss so I can combo the shit out of him before he gets it back. Or, because, like, if he's going to be running away from me, like, I feel like I did all of this work and I don't really get a reward for it.
Because, you know, funnily enough, I kind of noticed this with Wukong, having played, like, an absurd amount of modern Monster Hunter. You kind of, like, want more reward for being, like, aggressive on some of these bosses, and it feels like the gold armored rhino kind of needs, like, what they call, like, a stagger state in Monster Hunter, where you've done enough damage to the monster that you basically toppled it, and it's just kind of like writhing for a second, gets back up, usually gets a bit more aggressive. Seeing something like that with the gold armor rhino would have probably made that fight a lot more memorable, honestly. Yeah, overall, I don't feel better. It's almost like the opposite of the martialist. I don't feel good about putting him higher than C.
Oh, no, I don't. I don't know if I want to put him in stone tier, but he's at least D.
Yeah. I'll put him in D. Like, again, even for being probably one of the better takes on the super armor idea, it's still not a fun mechanic, honestly. And then we have Giant Shindig. What is that?
I don't know.
Is this a fight I wish I did?
Like, is this a chapter 6 thing?
Whoa. It must.
That looks kind of cool. I did not do this.
Oh no. We need an I wish tier stat. What is this? Ooh. Poor guy. We just didn't fight this guy. No contest.
He is a rock. Maybe we should put him in stone tier.
Oh, that's mean.
I know.
He's a good boy.
He's a good rock.
He seems like I mean, how many mountains do you fight in this game? Fungi woman. I'm gonna be honest. I don't care for like any of these like plant-based bosses, like the 9-cap Lingji, old ginseng, the fungi one, especially like even just like the enemy versions of them. I just after a point, it made me not want to pick up ingredients.
There was a point where I just kind of started doing in my head. I was like, okay, this one's probably going to be a monster. It is! And then after a while, this one's probably going to be a monster. Oh, what do you know? I'm pleasantly surprised it wasn't. Oh, now it's a monster.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It felt like after a certain point in the game, you just weren't really winning the lottery with picking up ingredients or picking up a fight, essentially. And I think, honestly, it feels even worse when it's like a boss. Where I'm just trying to pick up a mushroom. And I mean, yeah, I'll probably get a mind core out of this. But
I'm not going to use it.
Well, you know, they're for your pills.
Oh, that's sorry. Yeah. I thought you meant like the blue transformation things.
Oh, no. Yeah, it, like I wouldn't use that. But I'm just not super into these guys.
I remember this one had like a weird mechanic. Like it felt weird to fight, but I don't remember what it was. It was like I think it was like healing during the fight, or there was like some weird shit it was doing.
Oh no, healing.
I would agree though, like I'd still put it around like D tier, but I feel like this one was trying to do something interesting. Because I remember this was in chapter 4. Because I was exploring, just trying to find shit. And I found this.
Okay. I think I'm cool with just keeping them down here. It doesn't seem... Like, again, I don't think they're, like, crazy offensive, but they're just not, like, fun to find for me, personally. Fubon. Oh, my goodness. I know this name.
Okay, so that... Because I checked earlier, that is the secret boss of Chapter 2. This is when you're hanging out with Master Splinter and you're fighting the giant scare. Cool. Yeah, I love this thing. It's so cool.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like, I remember, spoiler for Chapter 6, if he's even on this list, honestly, there's this, like, one skill check boss.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the list.
I thought that boss was gonna be like Fuban, getting to fight this giant, just like cephalopod crab insect. No, yeah, it's like more of a beetle. It's just insane. Like, honestly, it's just a really cool fight, and especially like the way he uses the desert environment to his advantage, more than just kicking up like a windstorm. I kind of want to put Fuban up in like ARS.
No, honestly,
like,
I'm not
really
gonna fight you on that.
bad.
That's kind of where I want it too.
I like Fuban.
What I really like about this fight is not only it's like you said, like it's using the environment really cool. Like you get this really big arena. Partway through, Master Splinter's like, "You've done good. Now I'm gonna join you and help you kick his ass." I'm like, "This is nice. I really like this fight."
Yeah, no, Fuban was worth it, honestly. Oh man, we are about to hit some pretty big boys here right now. We've got Erlang. Oh,
so this is the Erlang trio.
We got Erlang Shen, the 4 heavenly kings, and Erlang, the sacred divinity.
So that's in reverse order.
I know. So we're gonna start with Erlang, the sacred divinity, of course. I will say, while it was fun to theory craft and try to find new ways of busting the boss open, the initial like kind of ride of getting there is a little frustrating. This boss does have like his own like way of spinning a super armor mechanic that I don't really think did the best job, honestly. It just kind of came off like the guy had like 4 times the health, honestly. And even worse if you're performing poorly, not exactly like poor enough to die or not make it through the fight, but not doing enough damage. He doesn't have like phases where he puts on his armor. He just puts it back on after a certain amount of time. And it just kind of gets to the point where the fight feels drawn out because of that, unless admittedly crazy cheesy strategies for tearing down the armor.
Really well.
And don't get me
Shout
wrong,
out to the Bancho.
Bancho fan, whatever they actually call it. Again, Goku. But yeah, it's hard, right? Because I think the fight has some really cool moves. Like he has that rain of sword attack, which can be a little like hard to dodge sometimes. It's just so cool though. Like I've said it a couple times when I was fighting the boss. I was like, this guy's just doing like Kingdom Hearts moves. Like these would not be out of place. Yeah. Like I would not be surprised to see like Xehanort like just do the whole. I mean, he does it with the Keyblades. So.
He kind of does.
But yeah, I think he has like a lot of cool things going for him. But ultimately, the thing with his health is a bit too much for a super boss. And again, I get that he's the super boss, but I don't know. Like I felt like I could get through a lot of his attacks and I could learn him, but it was too much of an endurance fight to feel like very fair, in my opinion.
Here is my counter argument, though, because I'm not going to disagree with anything you just said. Like, no, I haven't played Sekiro.
And I'm not trying to disparage the boss too much, by the way. I do really like Erlang. I really like Erlang.
Because like I haven't played Sekiro, but I was like, this feels like how I think Sekiro works, where it's like he's got his posture, and then once I break his posture, I can kick his ass. I don't know how quickly posture comes back in Sekiro.
Well, here's the crazy thing. In Sekiro, when you break posture, you're kind of like just straight up moving on to the next part of the fight. Like, in just as a quick lesson here, whenever you're playing Sekiro, you'll see bosses have multiple health bars designated by little like health orbs. Whenever you break an enemy's posture, you immediately get a chance to take out a health orb. So it's almost like a second health bar mechanic. If you're good at deflecting and just like basically turning the tide of battle to your own dance, you are shredding bosses in Sekiro.
Gotcha.
It feels like Erlang kind of has that idea going on, don't get me wrong, but it's more focused around being like, I have to completely change how I play now. Like, it is the fight that is going to make you either be perfect at what you've been doing or make you start thinking of doing other things. And I think either, like, it's a good, it can be good in both ways. Like, that's where I first learned, like, Ring of Fire was amazing. It was so much better for the fight than what we were using before. and actually using other like vessels. Again, I think that was the first time I had switched from Blue Baby. The very first time in the game.
That was about to be my counter, is just the fact that you can turn into a rock and he just kind of stops fighting you. Really funny.
The fact that it is
it's
still
like
a thing.
It might be the only transformation that does it. I think it is.
Because every other one, it seems like he like does his own transformation.
Yeah.
And it hits you once, takes you out of it. This one, it's like, I feel like he's being cocky, and he really shouldn't be. It's super fun to find, honestly. Like, I'm convinced that that's actually like intended.
No, because he has special dialogue for it. He's like, oh, like, you know, just like him, like you're a monkey from stone.
Yes!
like he specifically goes on a rant as you're doing damage to him, and it does a lot of damage to his posture too.
Oh yeah, that and the fan, super posture shredder. Honestly, like whenever I was doing like whenever we were passing off on this fight on your account, I was having a lot more fun with him on the second go around, having to find these having these new techniques to actually like fight the guy. And it kind of like harkens back to like his moveset is gnarly. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to dodge, but when you dodge it, it just feels good. So good. Like you feel like you are really like about to like master this game just because you beat the super boss. Like it's really cool. I kind of want to put Erlang himself at like A, despite what I was saying about like his posture and all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like I was dogging down on him a lot with the posture mechanic. It is a bit overtuned, but I don't want to put him anywhere less than A.
No, I would 100% agree. And I do agree with the posture thing that I remember while fighting him and thinking, yeah, this feels like it should be a phase transit. Because he has notable phases throughout this health bar. And you would think, this is when it comes back. And it's like, no, he just didn't hit me for a while. Just fuck you.
That's the worst part.
But then, once you get to the next phase, like, oh, were you almost done with my bar? Well, it's going all the way back. Like, if it had been, that's just how it works, I think it would have been better.
Exactly. Like, if you had 4 notable, like, phases to the fight, instead of those phases being broken up by like almost many phases. But
then you turn into a giant gorilla.
Yeah. So then we get to like the best part in the game, and God, you're just not even gonna sugarcoat it. When these guys are going up at the top, I think.
Like this is my favorite thing in the whole game. Is being a giant gorilla and punching the shit out of things.
I don't remember the last time I played a game that rewarded me for doing a super boss by making me a super boss. It was insane, honestly. Like, this is where the game just goes full on, like, Asura's Wrath, pedal to the metal insanity.
That's how we described it to Clay. I was like, dude, at one point I was playing a Souls game, and then I just started playing Asura's Wrath.
It's insane. And, you know, the fact that it's, like, still fun to play. Like, you know, you're ripping through them, but you're still, like, have this kind of engaging moveset that eventually becomes a moveset you can use in the game proper. What a reward.
Yeah, that was the transformation I used for the final boss, was just going gorilla.
What a reward, honestly. I think games should do that more, where your reward for beating the hardest thing in the game is just the most cathartic beatdown on some of the biggest and nastiest dudes after that. Like, it is something pristine about this fight to me. Really good. Really well done.
I think as I was playing through it, I just kind of looked at you and said, this is no question the most fun I have had the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's been a lot of incredibly fun fights. This is the best thing in the game.
It really is. And it's wild. It really is. Like, it has almost nothing to do mechanically with the rest of the game. But you just feel so good. Like, this is your lap, you know? Like,
it really is.
You're gonna beat this game now.
And I also had no idea about it. Like, because I think you had told me, it's like, there's multiple phases after Erlang, and I didn't know what they were. Yeah. So see, when I was like, wait, what the fuck?
It's insane. It is so insane. And I'm glad you actually did that before fighting Stone Monkey too, because there's something kind of fun about just like walking up to Stone Monkey, even if it doesn't work super well, mind you, and just saying, me too. You're basically just fighting the final boss with the final boss. Pristine fight. Really top notch. Alright. Enough about Erlang and how amazing that is. On to...
I don't know what... I cannot read that from over here.
Fastest wind and
Oh,
quickest
okay, this is the other dual boss.
These guys... they're not hard. They're not frustrating, but they're embarrassing. I remember fighting these guys, and one of the dudes, I think we killed the head on the ground first, the one that rolls menacingly. And after that, it was just the guy up in the air. I think that's fast as wind. And he just didn't do anything. You just had to wait for him to come down, and then we'd beat him. Then he'd fly up in the air, try to attack us, and it was like, I feel like I think I actually stood around at a couple points in the fight just to really like show this boss that he had no chance. Like, he had no chance.
That's basically what happened to me. Like, I beat the one on the ground. I was like, all right, let me try to hit the other one. Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
This is annoying.
Like,
I
don't
know, maybe that's why pillar stance is in the game. Like, for this one fight.
For real. I think we would hit him with the white every now and then, and that's it. Just bonk him in the head with baby. Yeah, he's real funny, but I don't think he deserves anything higher than C or D, honestly.
Honestly, I feel like for the fact that there's chunks of the fight where you can't hit him, and not just like oh yeah, I've got super armor. Like, no, he's just too high off the ground. I have to wait. I kind of would have put it in D for that. Yeah. It's like kind of stupid.
I think I do want to put him in D. Like, I can't just elevate him because he's funny. What the what? Oh, Emerald Armed Mantis. This fight, it was hard. It's really difficult, right? But I really enjoyed just the idea of the fight here, where it's I think one of the only like chapter 6 fights that like just feel normal. Yeah, exactly. Where essentially you just go to this area. I can't remember what happens before, but the mantis just goes into Baji.
Yeah, because I think he catches it, and I think he like wanted to eat it or something, so it just jumps into it, starts fucking up his stomach.
And he's just like, oh, hop in my mouth. And it's one of those just super weird fights. But for chapter 6, it was so like, hell yeah.
Because chapter 6 is nothing but weird fights.
Yes.
Because it was the exact thing. When I was doing the fight, I was like, this is a normal fight. Thank you. I've kind of missed these. And so I love this boss as a result. From what I remember, it's like super fast, super aggressive. I'm kind of playing Bloodborne right now. I like playing Bloodborne. This boss was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Emerald Arm Mantis, I think I'm going to put him in A, honestly. I really enjoyed this guy. Higher? Yeah, why not? He can go with Fuban.
He's cool.
Elder Armor Worm.
Okay, if this is what I think it is, I think it's like a giant enemy that that's
yeah, I typed in Elder, sorry. Wukong Elder Armor Worm. Here we go. He's got a spirit?
Yes. Okay, because I do remember fighting this in chapter 4. It's just like a bigger version of an enemy. It's like a whatever D tier kind of boss.
I'm going to put him in S tier because I chuckled after looking at him. Honestly, so you want to put him in D? He was just okay?
You know what? If he made you happy, you can put him in C. For just being a big old horror.
He made me happy. I'm going to put him in Stone. All right.
He doesn't deserve that.
He doesn't deserve Stone?
Stone's mean.
Okay. I'll keep him in D then. All right, what we got? Earth Wool. I do remember this guy very vaguely.
This is my baby boy, because this is like how you guys used Thanos. That's how I used this thing. You just like wildly charge, do a decent amount of damage, and it will usually stun the boss, so then you can just hit it for a bit.
Okay. Like, this is the guy that's like right outside where the horse squy is like tied up, right? Like in chapter 2?
I don't remember where the horse squy was.
Because I think, yeah.
But he is in chapter 2. He's like in that compound.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I did that. Yeah. But I do remember. I feel like as a fight, it's a pretty solid fight with just a big monster. But because of all the work it did for me throughout the game, I personally want to have him in A.
I like that. And I don't remember anything negative about him. I remember just having like a pretty good time fighting him, on all honesty. Like, just a good beast type fight. We'll put him in A for you. There you go, right next to Erlang. Duskvale. I remember actually having a really easy time with Duskvale, funnily enough.
I didn't. This thing gave me I fucking hate this thing.
Like, I can't remember. It's like one of these it's like one of those things where it's like, I think the first phase we would bust it up, and then the second phase would give us a little trouble, but we'd have so much of our like resources left from phase 1 that phase 2 was just kind of a normal fight. Like,
I think my problem with it is...
from that phase 2 was kind of a normal fight.
Phase 1 is long and boring. Like, I wasn't doing a whole lot of damage to him. It's like, I had, like, the best weapon available and shit. It's like, I'm not doing a lot of damage. And it's not like, oh, man, phase 1 is really cool. Or, like, all right, it's hard, but it's a good challenge. Like, no, it's just taking a while. And then I finally get to phase 2. I'm like, all right, let me deal with this shit. Wow, you do a lot of damage. Oh, fuck, I hate this. Oh, I hate this. I still don't feel like I'm doing a whole lot of damage to this thing. I fucking hated this.
Just did not have a good time.
I did not.
I don't remember thinking he was particularly stand out, mind you. But I don't think I had too much trouble on him, to be in all honesty. I think we can probably put him no higher than C. What are you thinking on him? Are you wanting to put him in stone?
I do.
You want to put him in stone?
But if you want to put him in like D, I won't fight you on.
Because I don't think he was so like offensive that we hated him. You know what I mean? I think I'm cool with just putting in D personally.
D for Duskvale.
D for Duskvale. And then D for Taoist Me. And now let's see about Taoist Me.
Who the fuck is Taoist Me? I don't remember this guy.
Taoist Me? Who's Taoist You? Let's see.
I do not remember this at all.
Yeah.
Wait.
Like, he's part...
No! I do remember fighting this.
Yeah, he's part of the secret, like, area in 4, I think. Or in chapter 4. But I think he's part of the Venom Taoist quest line, isn't he?
I don't think so. I think this is just, like, a dude I found, like, exploring around those temples.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of temples in 3, but I remember finding this one in 4. I do remember this guy, like, looking at him more. I don't remember the fight being super crazy. Like, I remember being fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I about the same, honestly. Like, I feel like it was just kind of like another just fighting a dude kind of fight. He might have had some story relevance, but it's been long enough that I'm not 100% recollecting what he did. I think I'm cool with just keeping him in C.
That's fine.
He's okay. What do you think?
Sure.
Like,
I don't remember him enough.
Yeah. Cyan Lung. I remember this guy being, like, honestly, a kind of a more challenging fight.
Same.
Out of the Loons.
This was the old guy on the turtle.
Yeah. Because he had, like, a whole thing where you had to, like, heal him or something, right? Or, no, I'm thinking of a different, like, person. But, yeah, he had this thing where he was, like, kind of a sickly dude, right?
That was the vibe I had, because I remember, I think it's like in his first phase, he moves like kind of slow. And he goes, okay, you've done a lot of damage to me. Now I'm going to get struck by lightning, and I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah, he gets recharged.
Yeah.
I remember that now. Yeah, no, he was honestly a really fun fight. And out of, like, after having done, like, the first and second Long, because I think we were in chapter 4 by the time we had found, like, got around to doing the long scale quest. It was nice to actually, like, have a challenge from one of them. I honestly kind of want to put him up in, like, at least B, for sure.
I don't want to put him in A.
I want to put him in A? Yeah.
I really liked this fight. I thought he was really fun.
Let's get it. Commander Beetle.
Oh, I think I remember this. This is a fight in chapter 4 where there's just, like, this... If it's what No. I might be looking at a different anime.
Oh! This is the guy! Yeah, okay, so earlier I was saying, there's a guy that you fight where you basically have, like, a bunch of minions around him. Like, you just kind of walk up an area and he's got, like, 8 dudes or something all around him. The thing about it is that, like, it seems like, oh, man, this is going to be really difficult. It is so easy to kill all of his minions before killing him. You can usually wipe them out really quickly with Pluck a Many. That's basically what we would do, is we would walk up to the fight, pluck a Many, and then it's our boys versus his boys. Well, we took him on.
I think this is the fight I thought Venom Taoist was.
Really?
Because that's what I remember is like walking up on a temple and like seeing a bunch of dudes being like, this is gonna be ass. Wait, this isn't ass. This is actually kind of fun.
Exactly, because there's almost like if you have like a fully leveled up Plucka Mini, he almost has as many dudes as you do. So it really is just kind of like a nice all-out gang war. I really like Commander Beetle. I want to put him in like probably B at least.
That's fine.
Because he doesn't do anything crazy himself from what I remember.
And now I'm really wondering, like, did I fight Venom Taoist? I might have just completely forgotten a boss and thought he was someone else.
Yeah, I don't remember Venom Taoist too crazy. I just remember he was part of like a secret area. I want to put Commander Beetle. I'll put him up in B.
If you want to put him in A, go for it. That's your boy.
I'll put him in B, because again, he doesn't... Other than just like the actual style of the fight, I don't remember Commander Beetle himself being crazy.
I was talking about a giant rampaging bug. That's not Commander Beetle. We're going to see that in a couple. I think it's like Centipede something.
Okay. So now we've got the Cloud Treading Deer.
Oh, this is the deer in chapter 6.
Okay.
The giant reindeer.
Funny story. Cloud Treading Deer did give us some trouble in that first phase, mostly because he spends a lot of it just kind of doing moves that push you pretty far back, honestly. Like, you spend a lot of the fight trying to catch up to him. We get to the second phase, and his health... We just start beating on him, and his health never stops dropping. Like, I think we pulled out the boys, and pulled out our stick, and put him down. It was kind of crazy. This is the boss where I told you, at some point, we had a fight where the health bar never...
Stopped being red.
Stopped being red. Yeah, the whole health bar was red, and then he died. We basically depleted it in a combo.
So you have really good memories of this boss.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. The first phase wasn't super fun. And I don't like the second phase, he spread blood that I think did a little damage. I don't remember the second phase. It didn't happen. It didn't happen.
I really remember hating the first phase of this boss.
Yeah,
and I was like, finally it's done. What do you mean there's a phase 2? And then I died.
Oh, no.
From what I remember, phase 2 isn't that bad. It's just like, I used a lot of resources getting like fucked up by its tornado and all of its ice moves.
That's what happened to us, honestly, when we started phase 2. We were very worried for about half a second.
Oh, hold up. I think the dogs need to go outside.
Oh, yeah.
Here, go ahead. Continue talking about reindeer. I will let dogs go.
Essentially, we were at the point with reindeer that we thought that we were gonna have like a very difficult time with phase 2, but at the end of the day, phase 2 just doesn't exist. So thankfully, it wasn't too bad.
So where do you want to put the reindeer?
I'm cool with keeping. Honestly, that first phase is kind of so much of a drag. I kind of want to put reindeer in D.
Okay.
D
for
deer.
I will not fight you on that. That feels right.
All right, we got Chenlong. Oh, this is the dude that gives you access to the hub, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that.
Do I remember the fight? Not particularly. I think it's one of those fights where he's not super tough because he's got like some kind of like affliction essentially, and I think it's more of just kind of like a small like test almost for the player.
Again, I think Bajie is like helping you with parts throughout the fight. I don't think he's there for the whole thing, which I just enjoy those. I just like having him as like a party member.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not one of those amazing fights, but it's pretty solid and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm cool with putting it in like C, just for being, or maybe B.
Maybe B, because he gets you some cool shit after.
He does, honestly. The fact that he's like the guy who
he's the gatekeeper to the hub.
Yeah, like watches over you in the hub world. It is nice. Especially even though we got it late, it was really pleasant having just an area where you knew that you were safe. You know. All right, so we got Centipede Guai.
Yeah, this is the thing I was thinking of. Just this giant rampaging Unga Bunga monster. And it was pretty fun. Like, I remember enjoying it.
That's crazy. I don't know if I remember this one. Was he, did you have to fight him?
I don't remember.
He looks like a cool fight, though, honestly. Or at least looks like a cool design.
I think he also does, like, a lot of shit with poison.
Okay. I mean, honestly, just because I'm partial to the bug man, I'm cool with putting this guy up in B, honestly.
I want to put him in A.
You want to put him in A?
I had a lot of fun fighting it. I just thought this thing was cool.
Just, he would be a no contest for me, but I like his look. Captain, the captains. These guys blend in my head for some reason.
Okay, because there's the dude who stands on one leg and is kind of ass. Then there's the dude who's, like, shooting magic everywhere and is... I remember him being kind of ass because there were points where I didn't think I could hit him. And I was like, I was very confused. I remember I beat him on my first try, but didn't really know how I found him. I was like, I hope I kill him because I don't know if I can find this dude again. And then the other one is, like, guarding an area, and he's got, like, this cool design where he's, like, shooting blood and shit, but was really easy.
Okay. I think the only one I'm remembering might be Wise Voice. Doesn't he have, like, you're normally, like, attacking his legs, right? Yeah. Okay, the only thing I super remember about these fights, and unfortunately it is a negative memory, is... And this is one of the few times I think the game legitimately messed up on us. There's a point where we were fighting the guy, and it seemed like his health wasn't going down. And it just kind of stayed like that. Like, we thought maybe there's an armor thing that we were missing. I don't know. But then after we died and came back, we didn't encounter the same problem.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he might have been a little bugged for us, unfortunately.
I could be wrong. I think I've heard that there was a bug in that fight, but I'm not sure.
I can't remember now. I think I did hear that there was, like, a patch update for something like that. Either way, the captains don't really, like, super stand out in my mind for being anything in particular. I do remember Chapter 3 feeling a little disjointed because of, like, their whole section where you get put into the...
I hated that.
What is it, the Pagoda Realm?
Yeah.
It was just...
I'm gonna be honest, I just don't think I like Chapter 3 that much. Like, I didn't like the Pagoda Realm. I'm like, cool, now I'm in the snowy forest. This is really pretty. I keep getting lost everywhere. And then, alright, time to go fight the final boss. Yo, this phase is really cool. Yo, Macaque in the Sack is really cool. Oh, God, this last phase is terrible.
Yellow Brow, why? Alright, so, where do we want to put the captains?
I don't know. I feel like we're not really that high on them, so you want to just put them in, like, D? I don't think they're stone tier.
Yeah, I think I want to put at least Kalpa Wave and Lotus Vision in D. I'm considering you for stone, Wise Voice, but you got updated, so you're in D. Alright, next we have Bulgard. Bulgard?
Who's Bulgard?
Beats me.
I think he's, like, one of the first bosses in the game.
Oh, really? Oh my god, he is! Yeah!
He's, like, the first boss.
Well, you fight him, and then you kill him,
and then
I think that's around the time you get your first spell, and yeah.
I don't remember him.
I guess we'll just keep him in C. He's just there. You did good, Bulgard. You got there.
Okay.
All right, Buddha's right hand. I remember that name. What was his whole shtick?
So this is a boss in Chapter 4 where you're in, like, a cavern and you're fighting, like, this hand thing in the middle of it, and then at some point it starts, like, really wriggling around and doing shit, and then after you kill it, it becomes a bridge.
Yeah, I kind of remember this. This was kind of like a nice little, like, corridor fight. You don't really see too many of those in this game, and good reason. Not usually they're great, or they're not usually great. Like, what was it? If you've ever played or seen much of Demon Souls, Armor Spider is not super fun to fight.
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah. Ugh, yeah, don't. Yeah, no, this is this totally fine fight. I do like the idea, though, that it becomes kind of like your traversal after you kill it. I'm cool with putting it, like, maybe in B.
Sure.
Just for being a little more interesting.
I don't feel like I have a whole lot to say about it. Like, I'll give it respect for being different.
Yeah.
Is that the carts?
Yep, here we go. C for carts. Honestly, like, I think these things are just so unmemorable for the most part. Like, you don't really... Especially for Chapter 5, they're not very challenging for when you find them. And they just come off as roadblocks.
I mean, that's basically just literally what the first two are. 'Cause the
Yeah.
first are like, cool, I get to go around it and not take damage, which is neat.
Yeah.
And then the next one is like, okay, it's literally a roadblock, breathing fire, so just hit it, retreat, hit it, retreat. It's kind of tedious.
Yeah.
The next one is moving around, and it's not like a crazy cool fight, it's just okay. And then the last one is like actually like a really aggro boss. So like that one
was that the Rusty Gold, right?
I think. I don't remember which ones are which.
Let's get a quick Google.
I feel like the last one I'd probably want to put in like B.
What? Rusty
The others
golf
are
cart?
Rusty. Wukong,
Sorry,
Rusty
you guys can't see this, but the first Google suggestions are Rusty Golf Cart for Wukong.
After the word
Wukong. Let's see. So Rusty Gold Cart. Okay, I think this guy is the super boss one.
That looks like the
or not the
arena.
super boss, but yeah, the one keeping the secret area.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was actually kind of cool. You had to fight this dude, a bit more aggro than the other ones. I'm cool with maybe... I'm going to keep these guys down here because he's getting a little bloated to put these guys up here. I kind of want to put Rusty Gold maybe in, like, I don't know, C. And then I think the rest of the cards are cool just being in D. I'm not super big on them personally.
I'm going to put like Rusty Gold in B, but I can put the other
Rusty Gold in B?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm cool with raising him up a little bit. He actually at least tries. The rest of them are living carts.
Now it's Fat Aang.
Fat Aang.
So that's what I called it. It was like, okay, he looks like a monk.
That's
some Aang. He's uses like wind power. He has a staff. I'm like, this is just Aang if he let himself go.
He really kind of is. Yeah, no, this
like
I
love this dude.
This fight was actually kind of fun, and it is like one of the more challenging ones in Chapter 1, especially for a non-optional fight. Like, you actually start getting tested on like big guys and like more crazy like fight like attacks and like dodging.
I think it's the first fight where when you try to use a spell, sometimes the boss says, no, fuck you.
Oh, really?
Because there's times where you can immobilize him and it'll work, and then other times where he's like, that trick ain't gonna work on me.
It just kind of breaks.
Yeah.
Okay. That is really neat, honestly.
And it's like, oh, okay. That sucks, but at least now the game is letting me know this spell is not as reliable as you might hope it'll be.
Yeah. I think I want to put Aang in at least A.
Honestly, I actually like this boss a lot.
And
And then is that Smokey the Bear?
That's actually... Oh, yeah, let's talk about... We'll skip over Black Long for a second, and we'll talk about his other form, Black Bear. Because he turns into the Black Bear
I believe he does. And that's the final boss of Chapter 1.
Yeah. I honestly also really liked that fight. Especially, like, sometimes giant fights in some of these games can be hit or miss. You're kind of more just dealing with the aggro on them and, like, how hard it is to get out of a lot of their attacks. This guy felt fair for being, he did in that literal stories over you. Yeah,
it was
a fun time.
Like, I had a lot of trouble with it.
He was difficult.
I had the vessel, too, and, like, it was still hard.
We did not have the vessel. I cannot believe we went 4 chapters without these things. Honestly, I want to put Black Bear Guy up in A with the Wind King, honestly. I almost want to elevate the Wind King a little higher, though, because I do think I like the Wind King.
You want to put Fat Aang in S?
Let's put Fat Aang in S. We're going to actually bump him up. And then, now we're on to Black Long.
So, it sounds like you didn't do him until way later, right?
Not, like, way later. Again, we did him in... Because it was around Chapter 4 when we started the Lone Quest.
Okay, so a couple chapters later.
Yeah, this guy also just did not feel super challenging for, like, an optional, like, boss at all, honestly. Like, especially something with the long scale side quest. The last two feel way more, like, apt for where you're at in the game when you get this, or, not where you're at in the game when you get the scales, but, like, when you reach them in their respective chapters, I feel like. And I don't know, maybe it was because we were just a couple chapters later.
So as someone who got there, like, in chapter 2,
Oh, man.
Thor was a problem.
Thor was a problem?
Like, I loved fighting this boss. I thought, there's this one move he does that I just could not dodge. Just when he just starts banging the ground and making these shockwaves. Because I was like, okay, can I just, like, jump these and time these? No, like, I can't do it. Can I dodge these and time these? No, I can't do it. Okay, there's a big rock. Let me hide behind the rock. Oh, that doesn't work. It goes through the rock. And then at one point, I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? And I look it up, and it's just jump on the rock, idiot. I think at one point I tried to do, like, pillar stance, and that still hit me. I was like, what the fuck do I do? Oh, now I just feel dumb. I thought I tried getting on the rock. No, I just tried getting behind the rock. That's a completely different, like, preposition. Just boom. And then it made the fight so much more manageable, because I could get him to that move, like, reliably, because I had to learn his pattern. Okay. And it was a very fun fight to just learn his pattern and learn his tells. I have a lot of love for this particular fight. Like, I want to have him in, like, A. You want to have him in A? I want to have him in A. I don't know if I want to quite do... There's a part of me that says S, and I'm like, I think I want to have him in A.
Let's put him in A, because honestly, I don't mean to disparage him too much. I think we did just kind of get to him at a point where he wasn't challenging, so we didn't get to see his full suite.
And that's why I punished the first chapter Loong, because, like, you have to go back to him, and then at that point you're like, no, you're strong enough.
Yeah, like, it feels like, honestly, you should have got the Loong scales in chapter 1 because of that. Then we got the Bishui Goldeneye Beast. Oh, this is the chapter 5 secret boss.
Yeah, it's this asshole. I fucking hate this fight so much.
He really was. He was another fight, kind of like, wow, who was he? We talked about him just a little bit.
First Prince, I think.
No, not First Prince. The chapter 4 fight, 100-Eyed Taoist Master, where there was a point when we were doing that fight where I had said to myself, okay, there's no way the game is just this hard. Like, we are doing something very wrong, and we just haven't figured it out yet. So, we tried using the Bancho fan, which did help a lot. I think that fan does help a...
Oh, did you have the fan already?
Yeah, we had the fan by that point,
I did him before I fought Red Boy.
No, yeah. We, by this point, we had the fan, and we were able to put out a lot of the fire. And that helps with that.
Yeah, that sounds so fucking helpful.
It was very helpful, but the thing was, unless you had, like, a good way of charging your fan, like that one gourd, then he would pretty quickly just get the arena back into a state of hell very fast. So it was a little give and take there, but yeah, no, there was a point where I was just, like, thinking that, man, maybe this guy is just too tough, like, and I am just not managing the mechanic or some mechanic right when we got pushed through a wall. And when that happened and we tried to go back and, like, get back to where the fight was, realized we couldn't, we said, well, a win is a win, thought it was like the Scorpion Lord, and that we just got pushed through to the next area. When he came through to the next area to fight again, I'm not gonna lie, initially it felt like we were back in hell. Like, it seemed like this was not going to be cool. But the phase change,
literally cool.
The phase change to where he starts using ice moves in the much bigger arena honestly made that fight leaps and bounds more manageable for me. I don't actually hate this boss, personally. I think, again, it wasn't as, like, as 100-Eyed Taoist Master, but I get as another, like, kind of case of the game trying to say, it doesn't have to be this hard. You can find new ways, but this one feels almost akin to, I think I described to you once as, like, Mew under the truck type, like,
I remember
stuff.
That was, like, exactly how you described it.
It doesn't exactly feel as, like, oh, I should have known that, or that's the item I should have used. It really is, oh, if I bang my wandering white head into this wall, I can then fight the boss properly. I think I don't want to put him in, like, anything higher than C. Personally,
my experience with the boss was I was fighting it, and I realized, okay, so I have to fight the boss. I have to fight the camera, because the camera in this fight was awful.
Oh,
and half the time I'm like, I can't see the boss because he just looks like the fire, and I don't know if I'm looking at the boss or the fire. And I also have to fight the frame rate, because the more flames are on the screen, the worse the fucking game runs.
Yep.
And I kept getting so close, but just couldn't finish him off. It was the same shit. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I may have just hit a wall. And I remember messaging you. I was like, dude, I can't beat this thing.
Yep.
What the fuck am I doing? You're like, okay, so here's what you need to do. I was like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean that's an option? And then I did it. It still took like a few attempts.
But it was much more manageable.
Much more manageable. Like, I don't have to fight the camera or the frame rate anymore. I just have to fight a hard boss. It's still hard, but I can do that. And for me, I'm just like, the fact that I have to like completely change how the boss works to make it manageable, it's kind of ass.
You're not as happy about the whole, like, there is an easier way on this one. I'm
glad there is, so I could do it, but I'm like, what the fuck, game? This was some bullshit.
It's a bit more, it's a bit less in line with how the game treats some of that, honestly.
I mean, that's kind of how it is for me. It's not like, hey, like, go do the secret area, you'll get something that will help with the fight. It's like, no, in the fight, there's a secret area.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of trouble even, like, while fighting the boss sometimes, getting the secret area to happen. Because it resets every time. And there was times, like, I tried using Baby Thanos, like, I just can't hit this for some reason.
Oh, man, yeah.
Let me try a charge attack. Oh, I can't hit this for some reason. I just have to wait for the boss to do it and lure him into the corner. Oh, in this run, he just didn't do that. I just died.
Yeah.
This sucks so bad.
So where you want to put this beast?
I have him in F. I fucking hate this.
You have him in stone?
I have him in stone.
You have
but where
him
do
in
you
stone?
have him? Like, we can compromise. To me, this is the only boss that contends with Yellowbrow for bottom of the fucking barrel. I hate it so much.
That's funny. I think, honestly...
Oh,
yeah. I think, honestly, for me, the fact that he does have, like, ways to overcome the BS of the fight, and it's not just kind of like Yellowbrow, you deal with it. I think he doesn't deserve bottom of the barrel. But man, honestly, if you really don't like this guy, I'm cool with putting him in stone. I think he is kind of like
You're a lot higher on him than me. I'll compromise for like a D.
For a D? We'll hit him in D.
Okay.
Because I do think there is some merit to the fight. But I think another thing I do want to mention is that whenever I think I told this to you, whenever I told you about the way the fight worked and tried to look it up online, like other people talk about it, it doesn't seem to be well known. It seems like a lot of people just head on fight the guy. Props to you guys. I'm sorry. That's rough.
Especially if you did it without the fan.
All right.
Like the shit I was trying to do was awful.
So
now it's the frogs.
I was about to say, actually, I kind of want to have a frog finale. So I'm actually going to skip over to the Apramanabat and get her out of the way first, and then we'll just frog it out for the rest of the vid.
Just playing Frogger.
Oh, yeah.
So, I do remember this boss. This is in Chapter 3, like, after you do the shit on the turtle, and then you go to, like, the island. I think it ends a little side quest. Because I think after you beat this, like, the turtle cries a tear, and, like, you can use it as an item or something.
Okay.
I don't remember the fight being super memorable. Like, it just kind of showed up, kicked its ass, and it was over.
Yeah, like, I mean, not to say anything mean about the guy, but I am. He just kind of looks like the normal harpy enemies you fight in Elden Ring. It's like the guy doesn't even really, other than the face, stand out as even like a Wukong thing to me. I'm cool with leaving him in C for myself.
I think that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Alright, so the frogs.
Alright.
I'm gonna be dead ass. I don't know which frog is which.
Here's the problem. I know which one is which one I'm
putting in stone?
I know which one I'm putting in stone. I'm pretty sure it's Lang Baba over here.
I know it's the Chapter 6 one.
Oh,
I don't know it's
yeah.
Yeah, that's him.
That's Lang Baba. I remember that. I remember that face. Because of his stone super armor mechanic, and I shit you not, I feel like it's even less manageable than Yellowbrow's. There is something about when he did his stone forms, that would just totally ice me out. We had him at like pixel of health, and he iced us out for minutes. Like, I do not like this fight, and like, I was already getting a little tired of some of the frogs, because sometimes the frogs are fun. Sometimes you're kind of on a frog for a moment. I don't know what it is. Just depends on the frog. This frog can fuck off. Like, if this were Frogger, he needs to just stay in the street. Good God. But he'd probably just rock form and not get hit anyway. Yeah, so, fuck you, Lang Baba. Nice to see you. Then we got Lang Li Galang. So, Lang Li Galang, I believe, was the one in Chapter 4. Because I think he's the ice one. Let's see. Lang... Oh my goodness, hold on. Lang Li Galang. Yeah. This was the ice one. I remember this one being, like, I think our third frog. And he wasn't super difficult. Just...
Okay, I did not fight this one.
Oh, you didn't fight him?
Yeah, I don't think I found the frog in Chapter 3 or in Chapter 4.
Okay. Oh, there is a frog every chapter. Huh.
Yeah, there's one in every chapter.
Just now noticed that. Yeah, honestly, this guy wasn't, like, too crazy. I think by this point, we were kind of, like, a little wary. Like, oh no, a frog. The frog in Chapter 2 gave us some trouble. This frog we steamrolled. He wasn't too bad. I think I'm cool with just putting him in C for being a frog.
It's a no contest for me, so I have nothing to say. And I didn't really say anything about your boy Alibaba in Stone Tier, but I don't disagree. I talked about the mechanic with Yellow Brow.
Lang Baba. Sorry.
I was like, I fucking hate this mechanic, and I was not happy to see it come back.
Yeah. Especially on a frog of all things. By this point, it's not, you feel like you can get the frogs, but they had
to throw something at you.
They find a way. So now we have Lang Li Gaba. Lang Li Gaba.
Is that the one?
I think that's the Chapter 2 one that's in the pool of water.
Yeah,
that dude gave me some trouble.
This one I didn't really have much of a problem with. I liked this one a lot.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm not saying I hated him. It was just one of those things where I was like, whoa, frogs can be hard. Like, I honestly kind of like this frog. I also just enjoy, like, the whole electric, like, frog aspect of it, paratoad type thing. Sorry, my Monster Hunter is showing. Yeah, I'm cool with putting this guy in at least B.
That's fine. Like, I think this is my favorite frog.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Favorite frog? We're going to put him in A. I like him. I like Langley Gabao. All right. Oh, yeah, and I forgot. This guy is my mortal enemy.
Is the fire one?
No. There was a point where when we were fighting Langley Gabal, that was basically all I could say is like, darn you, Langley Gabal! If you guys can't tell, I'm saying all the frog names as much as I can. I love these frog names so much. Now we got...
It's like me anytime I say the full title of the DreamWorks film, Ruby Gillman. Teenage Kraken.
Teenage Kraken. Oh, God. All right, then we have Bali Galang.
Okay, I think that's our Chapter 1, boy.
Yep, that is, I think, the very first frog, if I am correct.
Yeah.
Let me just get really quick. Yep, all right, yep. So, yeah, again, being the first frog you fight, I honestly I dig... Other than, like, sometimes them being, like, a little too tuned. Well, not really tuned. They're not really... Other than the final guy, he's the only one that feels too tuned.
What do you mean?
Like, hard, I guess. Too overcomplicated.
Okay, yeah.
I think, I think Bali Galang, honestly, is just a fun fight.
Yeah,
like it's nice to see frogs.
I was just exploring. I was like, oh, cool, a big-ass frog. Kicked his ass, and then in Chapter 2, I was like, wait, there's another one?
Yeah.
This is neat.
Yeah, like, once we started realizing frogs were going to become a bit of a running thing, I was like, okay, this is pretty nice. I think I'll put Bali and... Let's just put him in B. I kind of like B for Bali. But, Bali Gaba. Oh, Bali Gaba. I don't remember you.
I'm gonna guess that's the one from Chapter 4.
Let's see about that.
That looks...
Yep, he is the Chapter 4 frog.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I did this guy.
I was about to say, we might have missed out, unfortunately, on Bali Gaba. He does have, honestly, one of the nicer like skins though. He's got like that kind of like poison dart, like blue, and
it actually does look really neat.
You know what? Good job, Bali Gaba, but no contest. Aww. All right. Then we got Ba Lang Lang.
And this is the last frog and the last boss.
Ba Lang Lang. Man,
he's bald.
I'm sorry, Ba Lang Lang. I love your names, but I don't remember you. I don't think I fought you, Ba Lang Lang. But man, you've got some cool like finger fire iron.
I do really like the way it looks, like this coal-ass looking frog.
Yeah.
I did fight this one. So this was after I fought the beast, and I kind of went back into the area. I was running to, because like there wasn't a vessel after fighting him, because you don't get the fan until after Red Boy, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I did the secret area. Where the fuck's the vessel? So I started running around trying to find it, and then I find a frog in the corner. I'm like, oh well. I mean,
just a
he's
frog
here.
in the
I'll kick his ass.
And overall, was he like super difficult? Anything of note?
I remember he was more difficult than the other ones I had fought at that point.
Okay,
like, all right, like he's doing some fire damage and shit, but
a little bit of DOT kind of thing, damage over time.
Yeah, it was like nothing crazy.
Okay. So, and I think this is the most important question. You know, I gotta ask this because he is the last boss. Was he a frog?
He was a frog.
Good.
He was a good frog.
So you know what? Where do you think Ba Lang Lang falls in the old tier list?
I think personally he's probably like around a C, like nothing crazy, but he is a frog, and being a frog gives him a B tier.
All right.
We do like our frogs.
I think the only frog we gave C tier was Langly Galang.
Is that the first one?
No, that was the ice one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I remember you said you didn't really fight him.
I didn't fight him, so that's no contest for
and
me.
we just kind of beat him.
Wait, where did we put the first frog?
First frog? Oh, we put him over at B because.
Oh, okay.
You know, frog. He was pretty cool.
Okay, now I see chapter 2's an A. Okay, that's right.
Oh yeah. Because honestly, that was
his best frog.
Yeah, like just the whole lightning aesthetic thing is just like super neat. All right. Well, I feel pretty good. This looks like a nice little tier list here.
So now that we've talked about all the bosses, what are your overall thoughts on Wukong?
You know, it's kind of funny. I really, you know, having this all just kind of like placed out like this, the game does kind of seem more like a almost middle of the ground game, just kind of by the tier list. There are a lot of bosses, so obviously not every one of them can stand out and be good. Not every one of them is even going to be okay.
We do have a stone tier.
We do have stone tier. It's our new F. But I think overall, I had a really good time with the game. I think a lot of the little like short films you get after every segment, those felt almost more like a reward than some of like the bosses were, and those really were just kind of keeping me just like pushing to see like what the next one was gonna be. But yeah, overall, I think I still really enjoyed the game. Like, I think it was definitely worth my time. Definitely worth what I got out of it. But yeah, overall, I'd probably say it's like a solid, like maybe like 7, 8 out of 10 type experience. Definitely worth giving it a go.
And I would agree with that. It was a game where I think I started playing it in like September, and I finished it on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It took a long time to beat it, and a lot of that was just spending time on other shit. It wasn't just like, all right, let me bang my head against this boss for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Except like the end. The end, definitely, I was banging my head against some shit. But I felt like there were just a lot of bosses I didn't really enjoy. It felt like there were a lot of level design things I didn't enjoy, like the whole thing with the ball in chapter 5. I was like, this is like kind of fun, and then it's like, this is a longer section than I think it is.
Yeah.
And there's this whole part in chapter 2 where you're just dealing with like the rock monsters. I was like, dude, chapter 2 is really fun. Oh. And then you get past that, I'm like, oh, chapter 2 is really fun. I think chapter 3 in general is like terrible. I think chapter 1 is amazing. I think chapter 4 is amazing. A lot of chapter 5 I like, but there's parts I don't like. I did not really like chapter 6. It's just like, all right, I'm not an open world guy.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, here's your open world section. I like having the Nimbus, though. That felt good.
And honestly, that thing chugged. Like, that thing really, like, just, like, sped along. I loved that thing.
But I'm like, this is a game that needed a map. And now there's a whole section that needed a map. And I feel like I would have enjoyed the game a lot more with a map. But I think combat is really fun. I really love having a skill tree, and you can just respec whenever you want.
Oh,
that is so fucking nice.
I just want to say, like, for being a game that takes so many cues from like the Souls genre,
it's
like
so
that kind of stuff.
very much its own thing.
Yes, like it is very good about like not. It's not shy about being difficult, but it also wants you to experiment and try new things. Again, like some of like what I was talking about with Erlang, where you almost feel like you're having to do new things. It's not like one of those situations though where it's to your detriment. You know, you're able to experiment freely at any time, and I think that's something more games should do.
And that was something I really liked about the final boss is there was a point playing where like I'm just beating my head against a wall. Like I'm learning the pattern more, but I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. So I started just looking at my kit. I was like, okay, the vessel I'm using is the fan, and it's not working because he's just like dodging the fan and I can't combo him. Let me try the needle. Okay, the needle's not really doing shit either. Let me try the cape. And like, okay, like damage reduction is nice. He's kind of open for a little bit. This is better. I don't feel like I have enough mana. Like if I had like 1 to 2 more rings of fire, I think I could do this. Do I have a drink that does this? I do have a drink that does this. It has less soaks, but I can make this work. And then as soon as I was like, all right, new vessel, new drink, I understand his pattern. Can I do this? That was the run where I did it. Like, it really is like that tinkering and experimentation.
Like, it's kind of wild because there's, you know, in a game like Wukong where ultimately, like, you're not really getting new, like, weapons and new movesets for those weapons. There's a lot of build variety in what's there. And I think that's honestly, like, one really good aspect of the game is that, like, you're able to express yourself in a lot of different like ways using the leveling system, and you're not locked into that expression either.
100%.
Super nice. Like it's been a minute since I played a game like Wukong and didn't find something that worked and just went with it even when it didn't work. Like Wukong encouraged me to not be bullheaded, and it was great. It was really good in that respect. But yeah. Overall, solid game. Glad I played it. Glad you got to play it.
Yeah, 100%.
Very, very fun time there.
So I think both of us are going to be playing Metaphor soon-ish. I haven't booted it up yet.
Yeah, same. I actually, just the other day, I was thinking about it. I've got, I'll try to, like, boot it up around the time, if you want. Like, we can set a thing for that, and maybe we can actually, like, talk about some of the dungeons or something. Like, kind of keep this rolling. I had a really fun time doing this tier list, so I think it's, I think it would be interesting, like maybe how about this? Whenever you start Metaphor, I'll start Metaphor, and we'll try to like go a dungeon at a time, and then after a dungeon, we'll just like talk about it. Like have like a small like I don't know 20-minute thing. Just talk about the dungeon. Sounds cool. But yeah, I think that's good.
So we will see you in the next one. We might see you pretty soon in Metaphor. Who knows?
Who knows? You all have a good night, and it was great being here.